Yeah, so here's the main colors, the secondary colors, the black and white, some other color palettes that we presented to the client, other color palettes, you know, a few options that the client should able to understand. Here are the gradients that we finally came up and share with the client. And here's the same logo with the gradient inside. And you see what because the client wanted a little bit of depth, what we did is we, you know, add a little bit of shadow here. So it gives you the sense of depth and extrusion for the logo. So a little bit of sense of 3D style into the logo, so it feels it has depth, okay? And various applications here, how it looks with stroke, how it looks with gradients. And here is the icon transformation test that really push us on how this is going to you know, deconstruct and construct in the graphic package, especially and then in the ident. So you see how from the cube at the left, we're starting to extrude that. We're starting to change the height, change the inside, and then changing the right corners so it unfolds and creates the upper thirds or lower thirds, okay? So the idea was everything starts from the cube, but the cube is a shape that you can transform in other shapes, and it's a multifunctional shape, okay? So you can see here some other applications, and you can see here, especially at these frames, so we have the cube at the top right corner, and it's changed here. It opens the shape, and then we can have the typography inside here. So this is how it converts from the main logo, filled with gradient at the same time, opening, and then having the information there. So basically, this is how the general idea for the main shape was, you know, developed. And here are some references. Okay, these are the references we didn't share, of course, with the client, but these are some references that we had in order to come up with the idea on how this is going to work. And let me see, because I think I have some other stuff here. Yeah, some stills and references at the same time. Let me see if I have the concept. Yeah, and here is some draft sketches. Okay, which is really interesting. How at the left, at the top left, this is the original logo. Okay. And then how we moved from the original logo to starting to scratching the surface of the idea, okay? And here's the sketchbook, because we were trying to read the negative space that the letters are creating, okay? And if you see, the first that really came up was that play button and the S letter and the bookmark then, and that was the first drawing and sketches that we did, okay? And then moving forward to some other sketches, you see, we are removing the parallel lines from the S, which is the Greek S, okay? And then blending them in, we're starting to come up with the icon, which firstly was the arrow, but for a few competition reasons, the client didn't want the arrow, so this is why we moved on to the next steps. And this is some sketches that we did, you know, firstly rough sketches at the start to see how that works, okay? And let me go back, because there's a ton of information here, shadow and light ideas. That's mainly for the idents. And let me show you a few things about the idents, how we worked about the idents of the sky content. Yeah, a few other stills from the so idents is here. Okay, and here's a presentation for the client. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, especially when 3D comes, is I'm trying to get inspiration and the references from anything else that it's not in the Vimeo. Okay, so I mean, okay, it's cool. I will see some videos and animations and motions they're really fantastic, but I tend to search for references that came from the real world, okay, the natural, the things, the environments that we live, okay. You will see some, you know, design references, but they're not the classical design or motion design references that we mainly see in presentations, okay, because the client will not be able to understand. So that's the first one. And the second problem that I had here was that the client wanted to give a little bit of country's influence, especially here in Greece. So they wanted to make them cool, like we live in the country of Greece, okay? So I had to go and take some photographs that they remind you the center of the Athens, or they give you the sense of the Athens. And because, I don't know if any of you have visited Greece, but one of the main elements that we have is the sun, you know, the presence of the sun. And the sun and the shadows was one of my main, or two of my main key points regarding the art direction, okay? Because except from the architectural influences and all the other stuff, I had to play way too more with the sun and the shadows. So you see here, this is the first ident, okay? And the references that I presented to the client, because it's very, very difficult for the client to understand. And I will show you the animatic after these references. So it's very, very difficult for the client to understand what's happening, you know? They're not able to understand what is going on. Even if you show them the animatic, they are not able to understand that, okay? So here what I'm doing with the clients, okay? I have 4 photographs, and then I'm having a small description down here describing to the client what is going to be the first scene, okay? This is the first scene with the bubbles, and then we have the second scene for the first ident. So moving on, this is about the corporate news morning. That was the idea for the ident, that's the blue one with the morning. A few other ideas that finally, due to technical reasons, they didn't make it to the end, like the hand and these clothes, because they were not looking very, very good. So you see, every reference here is from the real world, nothing from other pieces or motion design pieces, okay? Because this is the only way. I mean, I'm trying to come up with 2 things here. The first one is originality, because the references that I will get from the real world, everyone has access, but mainly it's not like the Vimeo links that I have like 50% of chains for any other motion designers to grab them, so we have the same inspiration, okay? So let's say this is something that's more like customizing my inspiration, source, and influences, okay? Rather than going to Vimeo, that I'm pretty sure that the same day, thousands of people have seen the same video, okay? And second one is that due to my own livings and experiences, I'm collecting references that are more close to my style and aesthetics. So this is about the other ident. You see a lot of similarities with the idents. You see one with the color balconies and the people. This is the third ident for the night and the prime time, as they say. So that was my main reference for the balconies with the lights and the colors inside. And this is the corporate with a building and all these, windows, very strictly simple forms. We just play with the light. There is no, extreme 3D. I mean, in terms of modeling or animation, these idents, they're pretty just playing with the shadows and the sun and the camera. Okay, there is nothing, extreme in terms of other animations or simulation. This is the shoes with wires, and yeah, and another scene that was finally, and here some non-accepted ideas from the client that I had for the idents, that basically he rejected because he didn't find any interesting, on these things.